Hello and welcome to this video detailing why I believe the Hunter class is a great first class for you to start out with in Lord of the Rings Online. So it's the first class that I ever started playing with and there's a few key reasons as to why I believe it's cracking for a new player. So Hunter class is a primarily damage based class, DPS as they call it, damage per second. It uses 3 different tree lines to achieve this. So you've got the blue line, which gives you a lot of flexibility, lets you move around mobilely. That's the class or the stat line that I play with the most because I play a lot of solo play and it allows me to kite enemies of a more difficult nature. You've got the red line, which is more high damage based, but it's very static, so you've got to stand still and try and take the enemy out basically before it gets to you. Or you've got the yellow line, which focuses on traps. Now I'll be honest, the yellow line isn't something I've really dabbled with very much. Primarily it's been the blue or the red line, depending on what my need has been, but as I say, blue line is the kind of the go-to. So the Hunter class itself, obviously it's based around Legolas. It uses bows as its primary weapon. You can have handheld weapons because Hunters actually aren't that bad in melee. If something gets close to you, you are able to dispatch from a close range. I do it quite often, so that's another good perk of the class. When we talk around what makes Hunters great, it's the travel. I think is the #1 key feature that should make a Hunter one of your primary starting classes. So basically, the world of Middle-earth is vast, and this game does a great job of capturing just how broad Tolkien's imagination was, the scope of the land. Problem with that is that it does take a long time for you to be able to travel around the landscape. Now, I don't necessarily mind that because you get some beautiful scenery as you're going around. However, if you've got a time restriction on the amount of time that you can play computer games, then sometimes the game can feel a little bit slow based on the travel. So with a Hunter, kind of takes that away. So as you progress through the zones, you can purchase off the vendors basically guides to the zones, and it allows you to fast travel back to the zone really quickly. So as you'll see on the screen, obviously I've got different skills here. You'd right click one and off you go to that zone. So it cuts down on travel time immensely, because as you level up through the game as well, it wants to send you back to some of the zones that you've been in earlier. And if you've already got the travel ability, that's fantastic. The next thing that I think is really good about the Hunter class is the tracking foes option. So when you click track foes, it'll allow you to do a selection menu, as you can see here on the left hand side, and basically that then allows you to select the enemy that you're hunting for basically, and it'll allow you to get there on the map, which is absolutely fantastic as a time saver, because obviously the leveling up system does a good job of leading you through, obviously with your rings of power on the screen as to where you need to go, but it'll show you a zone radius basically of where the enemy models are. Track foes allows you to cut straight through that and just target straight through for the enemy that you want, which is again really good. It's a great solo class, so I predominantly play solo. Fantastic for clearing through content. There's nothing really that I ever have any problem with, so that's another really great benefit of this class. If you're looking at giving it a go, I'd highly suggest trying this one out. There are other fun classes, of course, to play. Don't get me wrong, I love playing a Bjorning. Different styles for different folks, of course, but cracking to play with and get going. Give the Hunter a whirl, see how you get on. Happy gaming.